Yo, I'm politicking with the homie poet, Poe Politicking. Self-help meets hip-hop. That's fucking beautiful. What up, Poe? What up, DJ Period? Just two black brothers. I see y'all out there doing what y'all do, preserving the hip-hop culture and introducing the future stars. Keep shining, kings. Real and recognize real. Love is love. Salute. Yeah.
It's just two black brothers on the microphone. It's just two black brothers on the microphone. It's just two black brothers on the microphone. It's just two black brothers on the microphone.
Welcome to the Just Two Black Brothers podcast. I'm DJ Period. This is my brother Poe Politicking, and we honored, man. We got the founder of Arrested Development. We got my man Speech on. What's going on, sir? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Good to be on here, y'all. How y'all feeling?
Perfect.
Feeling great, man. Feel like I don't know, man. I was a little kid when I first heard about you. So when I interviewed some people like you, it's like, damn, I never thought we would even cross paths one day. You don't even think like that sometimes. So it'd be real weird when you talk to some people.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. I do. I feel you.
Yeah, man. So we just wanted the very first thing. It's gonna be a little weird thing, but I got a little daughter. My daughter's 1 year old, and she was watching you on Sesame Street.
Wow.
So I told me and my wife we wanted to know what makes artists go on Sesame Street.
Well, for me, I grew up on it, you know what I'm saying? So like it was an honor. Like when we were asked to go on Sesame Street, it was an honor. The only thing I didn't like about it was I didn't like the song that we did. Like they wrote the song and the lyrics and everything. And then I saw Common was on Sesame Street much later, like many, many years later. And the beat was hot. And I was like, wow, they must have let him and his producers really write the track. So that's the only thing I regret. But other than that, it was cool. It was like, I don't know, to me, there's certain institutions in the United States, if you grew up here, that you know about. And Sesame Street is one of those joints. It's like, to be able to be on there is like, I don't know. At least for me, it was a big deal. I loved it.
Yeah, we got going back and watching all of them. So we on the first season, but I think we might be a little bit further now. We might be like, well, if she saw you, that means we farther out. Cause what year was you on it?
I want to say 94. I'm not sure. Probably 94.
But they got all the episodes on the HBO Max period.
Yeah.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, you can watch every single one, starting from 1 to like 80 something.
Word up. That's fresh. Wow.
So
I used to have a crush on one of the women on there. Forget her name. Maybe Maria or something. I used to.
Yeah, I think everybody had a crush on Maria. People be looking at that's why the dads be watching it. Shit, they know what's up. That's real looking like. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And then another thing I noticed just by doing research, I noticed you do a lot of interviews. And then I was just thinking, because some artists, especially when they get the accolades you got, they feel like they don't have to do that many interviews. So I was like, why is it important you keep doing interviews, and what are you really trying to get out there to the people?
Yeah, for me right now, like it's a strategy. Like I feel like I want people to hear this music. I want people to know about it. And a lot of the mainstream outlets are really purposely squashing certain conscious music and purposely like exalting certain other music. So I feel like I'm trying to go about it by death by a million paper cuts. You know what I'm saying? Like just go at it, more and more people, even if it's smaller amounts of people than some of the major outlets. Keep talking about the project and let more and more people hear it. So that's what I'm striving to do right now.
So what you working on right now?
I got 2 albums. I got, my solo album is called Expansion. I'm very proud of it. It's got a lot of great artists from around the world on there and myself, of course. And then Arrested Development's latest album is called Don't Fight Your Demons. And it's, to me, our best record in 25 years. So I'm really excited about that record. So I want people to hear the music and vibe with it. You know what I mean? So I do interviews, let people know.
So I wanted to take us back to I saw an interview on another guy. We don't kind of mention him, but so why did you, it said you formed Arrested Development as a response to gangster rap. So is that true, or was it just a headliner?
That was a headliner. No, I I never created AD as a response to it. It was more so as a service in a sense to hip hop in general, because hip hop is black music, and black people have a lot of different views, a lot of different realities that we do. And if whenever things start to feel like it's only one type of black people, I get concerned, very concerned. So I always want to make sure that there's other representations of who we are, not to replace the other ones, but to let everybody know that there is more to this. And that's what so with Arrested Development, that's what I feel like we do and we did. You know what I mean?
All right, since you on here, I'm just gonna go and get to the real. How you said hip hop is black culture, I know you've been in the game for a while, so it seems like a common theme, even with just black music in general, where black artists don't get all their, as far as the ownership or money. So how do you feel like even now it feels like we're still kind of dealing with that? Like you go from Sam Cooke to Michael Jackson to whoever. Like how do we break that cycle with the new artists?
I actually think, like Sam Cooke was a great example of breaking that cycle. You know what I mean? He really did it, and that was early on. He insisted on it, and Prince was able to break that cycle. Then he died. Michael Jackson was finally able to break that cycle. Then he died as well. I feel like a lot of the new artists that are independent, that are blowing up, going viral via internet and stuff like that, they're able to own a lot of their masters, which is a great thing. Other artists, though, that haven't been able to do that, I feel like it's, to be honest, this is probably the best age to be able to accomplish that, man, because you really don't have to have a label in order to still create a buzz if you have a fan base, so I think that's a good look. And like right now, I've been owning my own stuff for 20 odd years now, but the original Arrested Development material, I own a small fraction of that. So like, it's still a push. It's still we're still fighting, you know what I'm saying? Just like De La is, just like a lot of other cruising artists are. It's still a fight from that stuff back in the 90s.
And then I was reading I saw that you mentioned that Prince was your favorite artist. So I wanted to ask you, why is he your favorite artist? Then just give us some more of your favorite artists, like past, present, future.
Yeah, Prince is my favorite artist because to me, he just embodies art. Like his artistic abilities are beyond anybody else that I've ever seen. So he's excellent at everything he touched. His vocals were excellent. His instrumentalism was excellent. His songs were compelling and excellent. His shows were excellent. So, I mean, it's just, to me, there's a point where you compare him, for me at least, when you compare him to any other artist, bar none, he just rises above when you look at his catalog and his shows and what he brought to the music industry. It's just, to me, he's just above everybody else. Some of my other favorites, I would say, people like Sam Cooke. Since you mentioned Sam Cooke, I feel like he's just one of the greatest. Stevie Wonder, Earth, Wind and Fire. Some of these people, like that, Michael Jackson. I mean, these people brought such incredible artistry to the scene that it was just untouchable.
And then this might sound
James Brown.
This might sound like a funny question, but I don't know, like I said, like first time I heard about you, you like made me want to learn and just like seek knowledge. So I always wonder, like, what do you read? What do you study? Because I know you seem like you just very deep, and like even now I see you still like teaching and educating. So I just want to learn more about you on that tip.
I read a lot, man. Like for me personally, I read like the last book I read fully was The Economic Hitman. Where, you ever heard of that?
No.
So basically there is white people who are hired to go to foreign countries, especially third world countries, and they want to steal their resources. And so they're hired by the government but they're padded into different corporations. So you would never trace them back to the government. And their job is to go to these countries, promise them a huge amount of money for their country to take their resources. And if those countries refuse to do it, then our government does shadow operations that will take it from them anyway. So basically, these countries have very little choice in the matter. Either you want war against you and we'll come and take it by war, and it'll be an underground war. When we're watching the news in the United States, we wouldn't even know that the war happened. Or you can make some money from us, but we're still going to take it from you. And the pitch is that y'all will do better by taking the money from us and we'll make your country richer. That never is the case. And they end up taking over countries. So it's a book
get down
called
and lay down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a book called The Economic Hitman.
Oh
And,
yeah, I gotta check that out, because you see a lot of stuff like that, or you see things. I was just researching the Wow man. Look, so you know what? I gotta start going to bed at night. But what I do is I lay down and I think about something. So I think it was last night or the night before. I just started looking up photos of the Wild Wild West. So it was like it took me to a link where it was like 49 different photos that showed the history back then, and it was showing like Apache Indians who were trying to fight, because like I guess you know how you get they got buyer's remorse when all of that stuff was taking place.
That's
so
exactly
some of them tried to go back, and they killed them. It's like, look, we gave you that little small land over there. You got to deal with that. And they would do public lynchings, and so people wouldn't do it again.
Exactly. And the U.S. has reneged on a lot of their agreements with the native people. So they would agree to various big deals where it was good looks for the natives, but then the United States reneged on it, and they have no recourse unless they were able to fight with a war, and they couldn't win with the war. So it's some pretty real stuff that's been going on. And so I do like to read though, but that was the last book that I read. But a lot of books that people talk about now, I've read already. So like back when I was studying, because I took Black history lessons and stuff in school, like when I was in college. So a lot of books like, how Europe underdeveloped Africa, or, they came before Columbus, or, like a lot of books that a lot of people are talking about now. I already read those back when the old AD records, you know what I'm saying? Like that's when I was on those tips. They've been out for a minute. Yeah.
So
always with the books like that, I just be like, what's the goal with those books? Because a lot of times it just kind of gets you upset when you learn that information. So I'll be like, what are we supposed to do with it? Because we can't really I just be trying to figure that out.
Well, you like, oh, we can't confront nobody with this stuff?
Yeah, we can't be like, look, y'all our shit. Like, so I'd be like, what can we do? I guess the thing I do with it is just kind of like a self-esteem thing. But what would you say, Speech?
It is. I think it's a few things. I think it's self-esteem to let us know that we are greater than we're greater than being in the projects. We built the pyramids. The Greeks came to us to learn knowledge, mathematics, philosophy.
You froze?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he'll get back on.
I was making sure it wasn't me. I was like, my thing be tripping.
Oh yeah, no, he froze.
Government watching, man.
Just to know.
There we go.
He froze on us.
Okay, good.
Deep. He's like, what y'all talking about? Yeah, we back up.
Well, I think it's self-esteem. I don't know what you heard, so I'll just say a little bit of it again, but it's like self-esteem to know that Africa contributed some of the most important fundamental things in this world. So philosophy, mathematics, medicine, you know what I'm saying? For, all of these things we submitted to the world. We created those civilizational, foundational things. That's important. And then I think the other thing is that we as a people should create our own mediums so that we can start teaching the world more truth. And I think that's important. So those are the two reasons I read these types of joints. It helped me to become a better person. Like, I'll be real with you. Like, I'm from Milwaukee, and Milwaukee is statistically a tough place. And it helped me to see my life path in a different way. Just seeing like, oh, word. So okay, we're deeper than this, that,
We're
and the
deeper
third.
than
You know
what
what I'm
they
saying?
allow
So
us.
that's what helped
We
me.
deeper than what they allow us. It's like they allocate what they're gonna let African Americans be successful in, you know, and what it is you perpetuate that to the youth. It's like, all right, we're gonna make you rich by making us music, making us movies, entertain us. And so now you got a lot of kids that say, look, I ain't gotta go to college to be a rapper, I ain't gotta go to college to be an actor, I ain't gotta go to college to dance. I'm just gonna entertain this person and I'm gonna get this money, but then you don't have nothing to fall back on when that because that money don't last forever. It's like dope money. Dope money don't last forever. Depending on how you are in hip hop, that might not last forever. So I think it's a whole cycle they created to
Yeah, I talk about that. Yeah, I agree with you. I talk about that on the Don't Fight Your Demons album. There's tracks on there. One of them is called Back Down, where I talk about that whole thing. And another one is called Do or Die, the mantra, where I talk about, what we're talking about right now. So yeah, I try to spread it on there, through the music and let people know.
I thought you was from Tennessee. You say you
from the song?
Yeah.
You know what? I know a lot of people. Yeah. A lot. It's crazy because a lot of people felt that way. But it's like my grandmother's from Tennessee and my father's from Tennessee. So like the last place I saw my grandmother and my brother, because they died the same week. My brother was 29, my grandmother was 70. They both died. And the last place I was with them was in Tennessee. So I was like, that was why I dropped that joint with Arrested Development as our first single.
You produced the whole album too? Or that was like, it say somewhere you produced. Okay.
Yeah, 98% of that joint I produced.
Oh, wow.
I'm a producer. Like I actually was doing hip hop records before Arrested Development in Milwaukee, which is where I was born. So a lot of crews from Milwaukee, I was producing them and doing that. But Milwaukee, you got to remember, like hip hop back in those days was very East Coast, West Coast only, pretty much.
Right.
So Midwest wasn't doing nothing big. You know what I mean? That was before Common, Kanye, all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, Crucial Conflict.
That whole movement.
Crucial Conflict was out there somewhere.
Yeah, where were they from? I know
Chicago. I think they were like Chicago somewhere.
And when did they drop?
Man, what was that? That had to be, I was in high school. I graduated high school in 98 and it came, so it had to be like 96, 97 time frame around there somewhere.
Yeah, that was later. Yeah, that was later.
They had that hay in the middle of the barn.
Yeah. Yeah, when we dropped, that was early 90s. So like 91, 92, 93, you know what I'm saying? So it was before all of that.
That's the music we could listen to. I was 11, 12. They didn't mind us listening to Tennessee and Mr. Wendell. That wasn't bad music for us. Even though we still snuck and listened to Eazy-E.
Who was Mr. Wendell? Cause I was little while this came out, so I gotta go to the source now. Who is Mr. Wendell?
Yeah, Mr. Wendell is like, so really we used to hang with homeless dudes all the time, me and my man Headliner. So Mr. Wendell really is not one dude in real life. Like on the song, he's one dude, but in reality, he was a bunch of these different types of people that we was hanging with and meeting. And then we had one dude play Mr. Wendell in our music video, and he died right before the single came out. So
wow,
but it was interesting because these dudes was deeper than like regular folks I knew, man. I really was moved by them. You know what I'm saying? Like they really had a lot to spend.
Learn something from them.
Look, homeless people made Dolomite a lot of money. He was taking all their stuff and making jokes about it, but
no doubt, that's true. That is very true. That is very true.
So yeah, you can learn it. You can learn something from them. I wanted to ask you, how was it winning? Because we know you won a couple of Grammys. How did that feel winning those in the era where it seemed like conscious rap wasn't as big as it should have been? Because you still, that was still like an East Coast West Coast thing. It wasn't that genre of music wasn't what people listen to all the time. So how did it feel to actually did it help push you further?
Yeah, I mean, it's two things. One was just being myself, you know what I'm saying? Like I was struggling with trying to be a little bit of everybody else because I knew that that was what was making it in the industry. And
Right.
when I finally was like, okay, enough of this. I was probably 21 or 22 and I was like, yo, just be yourself, bro. Be done with this. And then second of all, the consciousness was just sort of part of what woke me up. Like Public Enemy, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
KRS One, You Must Learn, and my philosophy, like songs like that was really, they was awesome, and also just they woke me up.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because my parents were actually already activists, but as a lot of teens do, we don't always really be tuned into what our parents are doing. And I really wasn't tuned in at a young age, and then I started realizing, wow, my parents are already on all of this stuff. Like, I need to really tune in and see what they talking about.
That's what's up, man. So, did you watch Judas the Judas and the Black Messiah?
I watched a little bit of it so far. I got to finish it up. Um, it's funny because like I know I'm gonna end up watching that joint. I heard it's great,
Yeah.
but I know the story of the Panthers. Like, you know what I'm
True,
saying?
true,
So
true.
so for me, it's I heard from people that it's great and it's also a little depressing and angering, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm peeping out regardless. But sometimes I don't know about y'all, but like at least for me, sometimes it's overload on black pain. Like I can't
Yeah.
watch a ton of black pain movies over and over. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I'm glad they're making them because some people ain't been exposed to these facts and these truths. But sometimes for me, I can't just watch it. Oh,
I
all of
don't
these
watch
kind
it.
of
I don't watch it at all. I can't do
No,
it.
you know what it is. They and with the movie, I feel like they not gonna let you tell them everything. They not gonna let you tell us everything. So it's like some people didn't like the way the mission of the Black Panthers wasn't fully depicted in the movie. So it's like
right,
real purists ain't gonna say, oh, that was a good movie because
right, right,
you didn't depict Fred Hampton in a good light.
right, right,
Like,
right.
but if you ask people who was back in that time, hey, all he tried to do was help us
No doubt, no doubt.
from y'all.
Yeah, yeah.
So if y'all can't even show a little bit of that in the movie, man. Come on, man. Get but Ryan Coogler, was the director, I believe, who did Black Panther.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan's a beast, man. That bro is
Yeah,
so talented, man. Like he's a beast. I respect him so much,
right,
so much. And like I said, I haven't finished watching the film, so I'm not dissing it at all. I'm just saying,
right.
in fact, I heard it's great, and I'm expecting it to be great, but that's just sometimes I gotta sort of chill back on,
We gotta watch what you put
movies
it
about pain.
right, allowing all that re opening up wounds and all that stuff. But because I
Yeah,
know the
exactly. You
stuff
know what
like
I'm saying?
that, you especially if that's the family, you like, damn man, we gotta watch this over again. Like, but
Exactly. Like,
Like
like
we already
12
know
Years a
what
Slave
happened.
was great to me, but I only watched it once. There's certain movies that I can't watch them over and over. It's just like, okay, I'll check it out.
I'm like
Sometimes it's
that
too
with
insane.
Fences, man. I cried on Fences, man, because my pops
It's
wasn't. We had an issue, and I actually joined the Marines, so it
word
was
up.
like so when
Yeah.
when the son came home in the dress blues, and the dad
Yeah.
was just like, all right, like I was like,
Yeah, I
shit,
know
man, that
that
made me shed like a little
shit.
tear, man. It kind of hurt. I was
Yeah. Yeah, it's real, man. And that's a great film
Oh,
too.
man.
Viola Davis, everybody. I mean, it's killer stuff.
Exactly. So it's for can you tell us how like we'll go back, but can you tell us how Arrested Development formed? Or you guys were all friends, or you guys just got linked up through mutual people?
No, when I got to Atlanta in '87, I was wanting to start a crew because I had a crew back in Milwaukee, but I graduated high school in '87, and my mom was like, "Well, you got to go to school." So I got into an art school in Atlanta, and I put up a flyer. The first day I got there, I put up a flyer. I was
Mm.
like, looking for a DJ because I used to DJ, and I still do a little bit, but I'm an MC now. So I was like, okay, I need a DJ. Put up a flyer. A dude named Tim was looking at it. Started talking to him. I ended up naming him headliner because he's a great barber as well. This dude is a master barber. So it's like headliner, and I started doing little shows here and there, and we would invite people from the audience on stage. So we invite African dancers, drummers, poets, you know what I'm saying, everything. And it ended up sort of becoming this like jam session sound system type of vibe. And so how we started as a crew really was that energy of just allowing different energies to get on stage and rock with us. And that's why when we first came out, you saw 6 different people, but on the videos you saw a bunch of people because that was our vibe. Like that was how we would do shows. It would be like, this is before Wu-Tang was out, but it'd be like a Wu-Tang type of vibe where it's just a lot of people on stage, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's how we basically started. You know, it took a little time for all of that to happen, but yeah.
That's what's up. And as far as like, and this is a question about you. So is there any songs that you listen to right now? Like as soon as you get in the car, you got to hear this just to get you started for the day or for the ride. Is there something you play?
No, it's nothing consistent. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, but I will say from the "Don't Fight Your Demons" album on the Arrested Development joint, there's a song that does get me fired up. Like it's the first song on the album. It's called "Back Down."
Okay.
And if I put that joint on, you know, if I'm trying to get motivated, that joint definitely does it.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, definitely does.
We're gonna check that one out. And actually, we can go into the. I got the "Do or Die," the mantra track here. We can let the people hear that if you're ready for that. All right, let's do it. And this is off which album?
Don't Fight Your Demons.
Don't Fight Your Demons. All right.
Development.
Okay, bet. All right, we're going into y'all listening to it first here on the Just Two Black Brothers podcast. This is "Do or Die," the mantra. Y'all ready? Let's get it.
Yeah, can you turn it up a little bit in my ear?
It's jabbing in a faraway place. A summer breeze blowing out in your face. With the moon.
Milwaukee has been named the worst place to live for African Americans. Segregation, unemployment, and education, just 3 of the areas where this survey says our city falls short.
Bigger. Yeah. Woo. Ladies and gentlemen, this is real deal. Almost every party I rock. Yeah. Chances are I could have got shot. Yeah. Suicides and murders all around me. Childhood friends go with the wind. Do or die, the mantra. Yeah, do or die, the mantra. Some friends sold that white girl or that ganja. For me, it was selling life music to get you onto. Either way, I would say it was do or die, the mantra. Yep, do or die, the mantra. Some friends sold that white girl or that ganja. For me, I was selling life music to get you onto. Either way, I would say it was do or die, the mantra. That I was involved with, read them all with, kicked it with at parties and talk-ish and talkish with. Was dudes from Sherman Park to 3rd Street, especially around 24th and Capitol near Rufus King. I was literally the only captain while we're toasting. Never rapped with them heavier cats in the black like Casa Nostra. Going to Detroit, did rap shows with ghetto promoters. Picture kids, 11 years old, selling dope, all shooters and no poses. It was quite literally right under our noses. An epidemic with no limits. Quick cash turned clicks bad, all of it quick fast. Flirting with darkness brought a serious whiplash. And by then, hoods was getting bad. Had pregnant mothers down on their knees doing things that might require some knee pads. Sons buying ski masks, do or die, that was the mantra. Families going under, almost every party I rock. Yeah. Chances are I could've got shot. Yeah. Suicides and murders all around me. Childhood friends go with the wind. Do or die, the mantra. Yeah, do or die, the mantra. Some friends sold that white girl or that ganja. For me, it would be life music to get you on to. Either way, I would say it was do or die, the mantra.
All my partners and my family from Magnolia, we some soldiers, we ride or die. Survivors, we the coldest, can't control us, don't even try. Quit talking, boy, come show us you oppose us in suicide. It's best to get to know us. The Panthers, we the champs from Eureka to stamps. We rock them helmets with lamps. We got for wheelers and rams. We got them woofers and amps. Complete the boom, the beat, the speaker box. Man, know you got the Yola. We don't whip around with weaker rocks. Legalize the ganja, why don't you? Buy a dope or smoker since a youngster. A fisher and a hunter. High now I philosophize and wonder how to change the laws to keep us under. Then sit back and enjoy the thunder. Look into my eyes, realize I've been traumatized. Lost my best friend, a homicide. One to suicide, man, the pain I feel inside. When my dad and mama died, rest in peace, they always key. Please pray for me and sweet.
Almost every party I rock. Yeah. Chances are I could've got shot. Yeah. Suicides and murders all around me. childhood friends go with the wind. Do or die, the mantra. Yeah, do or die, the mantra. Some friends sold that white girl or that ganja. For me, it was selling life music to get you onto. Either way, I would say it was do or die, the mantra. Yep, do or die, the mantra. Some friends sold that white girl or that ganja. For me, I was selling life music to get you onto. Either way, I would say it was do or die, the mantra.
There were 1 million black boys last year that wanted to play in the NBA. Of that million, only 400,000 will even make it to play high school ball. Of that 400,000, only 4,000 will be able to make it to play college ball. Of that 4,000, only 35 will make it to the NBA. Of that 35, only 7 start. And the average life in the NBA is 4 years. So the real problem is we have 1 million brothers looking for 7 full-time jobs in the last 4 years. There's no question that there's a direct relationship between images and self-esteem. Abraham Lincoln found out very early when you have 300 slaves on a plantation and one master, it takes a lot of work. Why don't you let them go? But don't teach them who they are. Control their history, control their images. Then you won't have to watch them. Whoever controls the mind will also control the body.
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah, you did that beat?
Nah, Configure did that. Configure from the UK.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that song's tight. Nah, you was like you said, we just talking about that, man. Like it's 1 million dudes trying to get a seven high paying jobs, and only one of them gonna really get, and only one of them gonna really be a star. You know, the superstar. But yeah, you know, like you said, do or die. You could look. There's many a times, and when we in church, we thank God because you know you were in a lot of places where he could have let something happen to you, but it didn't. But it didn't happen. So true. You should pay some of that. You got to pay some of that back forward, because if you still here from all those situations, you got a job that he probably needs you to be doing right now. You got to figure it out or find that talent or that reason why you still here.
I 100% agree with that. I feel like we are all here for a purpose. That's why we're here. So yeah, I mean, and I literally today, I was walking around because I take a walk around in nature usually when it's a nice day, and it was today. It was a great day, and I was just thanking God, like, you know, thank you for everything that you kept me from. Like, I can't even tell y'all how many times I've been in the air, you know, 30, 40,000 feet in the air, you know what I'm saying, flying here and there, you know, just all tour buses that we're not controlling. We're not driving those things, man. Like, there's so many things that could happen, and I'm so grateful, you know what I'm saying? So you're right. There's a purpose for our lives. That's the deal. That's the truth.
Hey, look, airplane's only one safe way down, too. So you be on that thing the whole way, like, come on, man. Like, thank you. As soon as you land, everybody be clapping when they land, like, thank you, Jesus.
Yep. He was flying in the tube for the last couple of hours. Yep.
What's your favorite song to perform?
That's a great question, bro. You know, it's funny, like, for me, it probably changes a lot. Like, sometimes it's like some of the classic joints, but a lot of times it's some of the newer joints. Like, we got a song called Bloody that's real heavy. I love rocking that. And then there's like, I can't wait for us to rock a lot of these joints from Don't Fight Your Demons album. Like, that's gonna be crazy. But of course, COVID has taken us out of the whole touring world for the last year. This is the longest I've never toured in my entire career, man. Like, in 30 years, bro, I've never not toured for a year. That's outrageous, man. Outrageous. So
but what? So yeah. What's the flip side to it, though? What's the flip side to not being able to tour? Yeah.
I've been able to record some bomb music. Like, we've been in the studio just cranking out. I've been writing feature verses for a lot of different people. I've been writing 2 albums, you know, like the Expansions, my solo album is beautiful. Then the joint Don't Fight Your Demons, which we've been talking about, which is great. So I'm excited. You know, my single from my solo album is called A Different World. And it's like, I wrote that about the whole January 6th insurrection that happened on January 6th. And I dropped that joke on January 12th, which is, again, because of COVID and the technology, I was able to write it, put it out within 6 days, which is unheard of for music for me.
You got a studio in your house?
Yeah, I'm in my studio right now, actually.
Oh, is that the Grammy next to you right there?
No, it's probably a guitar right there.
No,
I
it's
got
like
my
right.
Grammy
It's like right behind. It's like maybe like a Trump something right next to you, and it kind of like behind.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like an
Yeah,
instrument.
nah.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, it's
okay,
probably
okay.
one of my instruments. I got my Grammys in the crib and in my house, and then I got MTV awards, Soul
Yeah.
Train awards, so on and so forth, NAACP awards,
So what?
So which one was it?
You're proud of?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like from a historical standpoint, the NAACP joint really made me proud. You know what I'm saying? To get an image award from your own people always makes,
Right.
But the Grammy, I mean, as far as the one that's had the most impact on my career is the Grammys, man. Because at the end of the day, anybody that says the Grammy don't matter to your career does. I mean, it does. I mean, anybody that's an artist, whether hip hop or any other genre, when you were younger, I mean, more than likely, if you are an artist, you looked at the Grammys like that was a big deal, and it was for me. So for me, I grew up watching the Grammys. You know what I'm saying? So to get a Grammy and then to win 2 Grammys and then be nominated for 2 other ones, it's like, yo, I'm very proud of that type of vibe. You know what I mean? It was just a big deal.
No, I feel you. So you said you wrote the album about the January 6th. How did that make you feel as a black man in America, man? Like was that a moment where you said, we know how the world is, how the system is, but that right there was like okay, we're gonna show y'all like live TV how we really are.
Yeah. It was very it was very disheartening because as a black man, we know that if it was a Black Lives Matter movement or something going to the Capitol, there would have been tanks, security.
Man, they would have flew an F-15 and bombed that shit if it got that.
It wouldn't even have got that close. It wouldn't even have got that close. So what it really is a reminder of is this nation is still based on white supremacist principles where they don't even consider that a threat.
Right.
They didn't even have enough forces for just even 200 people, much less 2,000 people. They didn't have enough forces and they didn't consider it a threat. But with black people or Muslims or other people, they always consider it more than enough of a threat, even though we don't do no type of damage like what they did.
Right.
And especially to these official buildings. Like we might mess with a Wendy's or a vacant police station.
We're gonna break in Best Buy.
Trying to break into the Capitol and murder people and put nooses on the front yard.
They want to get the vice president. Come on, man. Come on. So, hey, even if we think about that, we could talk about forming that right now on Zoom and somebody gonna knock on your door. Hey, man.
Without a question.
We just saw your Zoom podcast and you talk about.
I was reading a little while ago. We start talking. Yeah, they already on us. Hey,
exactly right. So it shows the hypocrisy and it shows the white supremacist realities that we're facing in this nation. And so, I had to write about that, man, because I think that there's certain weather belt signs that tells us where the nation's at. And the thing that I'm looking for with this case of January 6th is not the charges, because you could charge anybody, but actual convictions and how long are the sentences going to be. So I estimate that it's going to be a very small amount of convictions and a very small amount of time. There was over 2,000 people there. I have a feeling it'll be less than 20 convictions in this situation, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I want it to be way more, but that's my gut.
But that also shows you how police treat us. Like you said, they didn't. The police, the national federal police, didn't feel like this will be a problem. But it's the same way a regular cop on the street would think. And I always say the same thing, man. Like, look, if you a cop and you I believe in community policing. So I say, I know the neighborhood. I know Mr. Wendell, they ain't took his medication. He gonna wild out. Like I know that. I don't gotta shoot him because he waving a knife around because I know he probably ain't took his medication.
Like, Mr. Wendell would have schooled my mama. Shit.
Look, right. So I know, all right, bet. I'm not gonna bother him. I know a different way to matter of fact, I'm just gonna call Mr. Wendell mama. Hey, come get your baby. He on the corner of whatever, waving a knife around, and we don't want to have to do nothing crazy to him. But if they tell you as a cop, look, go. I live in Brooklyn, New York. So if you got a white cop that show up in Brooklyn, and the only time he show up in Brooklyn is to arrest black people, what you think he gonna think about black people? Especially if he ain't from the city.
Right.
So y'all can't be putting these dudes in here who already look, like they say, if you already scared before you became a cop,
you're gonna really be scared.
You really gonna be scared when you put the uniform on. You're gonna try to hide behind the powers that they give you.
Yeah.
Like fear.
And some of these cops, they ain't scared. They're from the military. They already looking for reasons and a justification to kill black people. Some of these
they got the trigger
organizations already there. They are serious and they're organized, which brings us back to the January 6th situation. There has been people that said there's inside people that gave them information on where to go. How
definitely.
So that's another telltale sign that I'm waiting to find out. Like when we find out if any of those people are convicted, then that'll let us know how serious they are about changing the system.
You saw that? No, I'm listening.
It's been going on for decades and decades. So there's a lot we've got to see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you see the video with the cop where they walked in. They walked in. I think it was where Mike Pence supposed to sit, but the cop was like, "Hey, you guys think you could like get out of here?" They were like, "Nah, man, we're gonna stay here and make sure it's safe in here." I'm like, dude, you just lost your job. If what's supposed to happen happened, he shouldn't be a cop. And all three of those dudes that was in there, one dude had been shot by a thing. He was sitting on the ground. He had been shot by like a rubber bullet or something. They were just sitting in there hanging out.
But I mean, if they could pull up on Tamir Rice and in the first 2 seconds of seeing him, they shoot him dead, not with a rubber bullet, not with no tear gas or none of that. Then they could have shot these people coming into the Capitol with the legislative parties right there in the Capitol doing a sacred duty of counting these votes, and they didn't shoot but one bullet, to my knowledge, that killed a lady.
They killed the girl.
Yeah, so they could have shot, if they could shoot Tamir Rice, who was a little boy, they could have shot so many people. Like,
and they had weapons. After that smoke cleared, they said there was all kind of weapons there. Pipe bombs, bats, pipe, all kind of stuff. So you should, if you didn't feel fear from them people there, then that shows everything we need to know right there. You didn't fear people who had bombs, probably grenades, guns. But you'll fear me you fear me holding my cell phone.
I say, you know why? Because they look like them, so they're not scared of them. We look different, so they fear us. But they look like them, so they're like, oh, ain't nothing wrong with him.
That stuff is wild.
That's that white supremacy I was just talking about. Yeah. I agree, totally.
We got another interview in about 10 minutes, so we'll start wrapping it up. But man, we appreciate it. We honored. I got a couple questions before we get out of here though. I usually ask everybody. It's a scenario question. So you're hosting a dinner party. You can invite 3 people to this dinner party, dead or alive. Who would you invite to your dinner party, and what would you serve
them? I would invite Jesus Christ. I'd serve fish, and I would invite Malcolm X. I'd invite Marcus Garvey, and then I gotta invite Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. just as a fourth.
That's gonna be a deep dinner party.
We eat fish and vegetables. We're chilling out, man. I want to know as much as possible.
What would you want to ask? Let's see, Malcolm.
For me, I would want to ask him, how does he feel about dying for Black people and where we are now? I would ask him and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that, like, how do you feel? You know, what's your thoughts now?
I think Boondocks told us how Martin Luther King feel.
That was a funny bit, man. That was a funny bit. Boy, that was hilarious, dude.
I believe that's what he would be doing right now.
He might be close to right, too.
He said, hey, man, you can't dude, man. I don't know who let you.
That was funny, dude. That was funny.
We all friends.
With us. we gotta learn to take care of our people who are in position to lead us to the promised land, as you may say. Like for example, like I say, even Malcolm X, even though Malcolm X was a setup from what we know. How do you let Malcolm X get killed? How do you let Martin Luther King? Like, why are the people who ain't really doing much the ones who survive these things? Like even if you take it to now with the rappers who get killed, like you letting the rapper who getting all the families out the community, he taking care of the families. Y'all let him die. Now y'all don't have no. And like they say, if you kill the head, everybody else don't know what to do. They run around, but it's like, how do y'all even let that happen? You got to think about it. It's like, man, who would say, let's make sure why?
Shit, because like to me, like we know, I don't hear the black community talking about like strategic like leadership or like war strategies, but we have to think like that, but we don't think like that. So that's why like you don't hear us talking about self-defense and stuff like that like we should. So I think that's why.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like our head is not in the game as heavy as it needs to be. Not as a whole people. I mean, it's some of us that think about stuff like that.
Even if something happened to somebody right now, like if something happened to one of your people right now, like what are you gonna do besides call the police? Like what really can you do? Not the police. Like what can you do if something happened to one of your family members right now besides call the police? You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
So if you ain't got nothing besides what you can do, is like I say we gotta work on stuff like that. Like we gotta have more like self-defense and militarization and just more like strategies and stuff like in place.
Yeah, we agree.
Definitely. So, sir, we appreciate it. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Much
love.
You know,
you took time out your busy schedule.
No doubt, man. No doubt. Yeah, y'all have a great one, man. Have a great interview. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch. We'll keep in touch with you. You know, maybe in the future when you drop the other album, you can come back. We can talk about the album and play some music for the fans.
Appreciate that, man. Brotherspeech.com for everything, y'all.
Okay. Got it. That's how they can find you on Instagram. They can find you.
Thank you for listening to the Pope Politicking Show, your home for self-help meets hip-hop. For live content, subscribe to our YouTube channel.